Okay, so some of you requested a template for the dashboard I've shown you. So here goes. Of course, there are some prerequisites first. So you need a Grafana. This could be a cloud instance, could be on-premise. It's up to you. Loki, a promtail, best if it's installed where you're running your tests from, a database if you want to show your SLAs, and a tempo instance if you want to show also the traces from your JMeter. If you want to use Loki on-prem, make sure you have a pretty resilient setup. I have seen it crashing casually at higher throughput, so make sure you actually have it pretty resilient to your load. Now, to convert my JTL file to a JSON, I'm using the Flexible File Writer plugin, and this is my configuration. The trace ID here is optional if you don't want to send your traces from JMeter. And also make sure you don't add any new line characters, just the one at the very end, so that the promtail can read those as separate lines. Once you have your logs converted to a JSON file, the promtail configuration is very straightforward. I don't open up any ports. I'm using the standard position file to store the positions of my latest offset. I have my URL of the Loki instance I'm using. Make sure that your promtail has access to the logs you have produced. And here's a list of the fields I'm extracting straight from the JSON file. The next step, the regex part, I'm extracting the thread group name. I don't want any additional variables there. The timestamp, I'm using the start time for the indexing. That's very important because my charts will be presenting the requests per second and not the transactions per second. And the labels, these are the fields that will be indexed by my Loki instance so that the search will be faster. And if you want to have a live reporting on a great deal of data, you want to make sure that your labels are actually indexed. To see the SLAs in my dashboard, I'm using the MySQL database. First, create a database, and then create a table named SLA thresholds. The most important fields are transaction type and the SLA threshold. Next, insert your SLA values into the table. And remember to commit. Now, to load the dashboards into your Grafana, I'll put a link here in the video description, but what you need to know is it's actually two dashboards. So the first one is the test description. So you're going to see here the details and the overview of the test run. But if you want to drill down more into a specific transaction type, you just go to see transaction details. It's going to take you to another dashboard, which then you can just drill down into and see what exactly went wrong with your transactions. And if you have some errors, the error dashboard here is going to show you the message that went wrong and the trace ID. So if you want to see it in the tempo, you just click here and it takes you straight to the tempo call that you have made. So thank you for watching, and if you like what I'm doing, hit all the buttons here. And next up, I will be checking what I can do with Apache Spark. Thanks.